This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome back to the show. You know, we're looking on a very special day in America, and that is the celebration of Mother's Day. And there's a quiet reality that many mothers carry, juggling the needs of their families, their homes, their relationships, and somewhere in the middle of all that, trying not to lose themselves. Today's conversation speaks directly into that space. My guest is Amanda Samaniego, who has written a powerful new 6-week devotional study. It's called Fight Like a Mom, or FLAM. It's for women who feel tired, overwhelmed, maybe even a little unsure of what they're actually fighting for anymore. This isn't about just striving harder. It's written to help us understand the battles we face, the mentality, emotionality, spirituality, and learning how to respond from a place of truth, identity, and faith. Amanda writes from her own journey through seasons of shame, overwhelm, and disconnection, and offers something deeply practical and hopeful, a way to move from survival mode into a life marked by peace, purpose, and strength. So each day in this study combines scripture, women series.
Yes, that was, oh my gosh.
How
That
many
was
years ago
a
was
long
that?
time ago.
Yeah, it was
A long time ago.
Well, you were with the chamber at the time, and you were you were doing a lot
I was.
as a mom, a single mom, as I recall at the time, and you were coordinating I don't know how many events for the chamber, and so anyway, it's been great to see how things have changed in your life. You've
Yes.
gotten married.
I have gotten remarried. Yes. In fact, this will be 4 years in
Wow.
June. Time flies,
Where
right? So we're
has
talking
it-
about my time at the chamber. I mean, goodness, that was before COVID. It was
Oh,
during
yeah.
COVID whenever I, God moved me elsewhere. And so that's already been 6 years ago. So wild, isn't it?
It's amazing. So let's go back to the beginning, if we can. What was happening in your own life that kind of prompted you to write FLAM,
Yeah.
Fight Like a Mom?
Yeah. So this actually was prompted in my heart about 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I was at the time a single mom. My first husband passed away. And so I was thick in the middle of raising a child by myself. And I had gotten to a space where life was just really hard. I'd gotten to it, momming is just not easy at all, and I had just come to a season where it was really hard and I felt really defeated. I felt really overwhelmed, and we were starting to embark on, the preteen, teenage years.
Oh, which are challenging no matter what.
So challenging, right? And, I was kind of at my wit's end. I didn't know what to do. And really this came from a space of, from that, the Lord spoke, oh my goodness. I'm going to try not to get emotional as we talk today, but the Lord just really continued to speak to me about you're fighting the wrong fight. You're fighting with the wrong tools. You're fighting the wrong enemy. Because as a mom of a daughter, we were butting heads a lot, and I just did what I knew to do. I was addressing her behavior. I was addressing and fighting her, what I deemed as rebellion, and some of those kind of.
I didn't raise you to be like this.
Right, right. And the enemy, was super loud in my heart about I was messing it all up, and
then you were defeated.
Yes, and it was a really hard season. And so I had started writing. That's been a passion of mine for a really long time, and yeah, the Lord was like, Amanda, you're fighting the wrong way. And so I really began to dig into scripture and realize that I was fighting, I was fighting my child instead of fighting with her, alongside
Mm-hmm.
her.
Mm-hmm.
And really it changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I parented, don't get me wrong, I do not have it figured out. And she's now 20 and we still have our things.
She's an adult.
Yes.
Ish.
Yes. So the fight looks a little
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
you know.
Uh-huh.
But I've learned a lot, along the way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, you talk about feeling overwhelmed and even disconnected. So, what did that season look like for you personally?
yeah, I mean, I was a widowed mom, and I'm working full time, so in
It was very demanding.
a very demanding,
Yeah.
career, which was
Mm-hmm.
such a blessing in my life at the same time because I had a lot
Sure.
of flexibility. I had, just a
No, I know.
fantastic
It was.
support
I
system.
watched you during that season.
It
Yeah,
was
I know.
it
Yeah.
was it was a lot, and it was
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
know.
Late nights, and just I carried a lot of stress, and at the time, I was doing everything that I knew to do because even though the Lord is my provider, right? If I didn't work, there was no
No,
second income. I
you
had
had
to
to
do
have
the things, and
had to
so
pay the rent and
had to
also
pay the
yeah,
rent,
yeah.
right? And so just all of that, in addition to really kind of getting lost in that
Mm-hmm.
work and taking care of my child, and when was there time for me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm really passionate about that because I
And it's so funny because in so many of those seminars you were leading,
yes,
that,
it was kind of like an
that was
oxymoron,
that
right?
was exactly what so
Mhm.
many of those women were sharing with the
A-
with
And
the
and
audience.
even in
It's easy to know it though. It's sometimes harder to
to do it.
live it out. Yeah.
And I mean, I was in women's ministry, as well, and helping other women do the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, right? And in a way that was fulfilling, right? It was taking
Oh
care
yeah.
of
No,
me.
no.
It was absolutely
Yeah.
rewarding, but there was
Kind of
something that was
fulfilling a calling you
yes,
felt.
there was still
Yeah.
something that was missing,
Sure.
for me personally, just in kind of running on both ends of the candle, right?
Yeah.
And or the candlestick, or whatever the saying is, but yeah, it was just a very exhausting, a very demanding time of my life, and I felt a lot of pressure. I held
Mm-hmm.
myself to some pretty high expectations that weren't placed on anybody or from the Lord. They were just my
Mm-hmm.
own
Yeah. Yeah.
things,
Mm-hmm.
as a mom. So, um, yeah, it was a really trying season, really trying.
So you mentioned you came to the realization you were fighting the wrong battles. Was that a specific moment or an incident or something you can think of?
And no, I don't know that it was a specific thing. I was praying a lot, like because there were just things that I mean, motherhood presents all kinds of challenges, right? No matter how well behaved your child is, or the tools that you give them. There's pressures from school, and there's just different things to live up to, and then your child is learning their own voice and to become and make their own decisions,
Sure.
even at a young age, right? And you're
And you want
battling.
them to do that.
Absolutely, that's
Yeah.
the blessing of motherhood. You raise them up so that they can go
They can fly off.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then when they actually do that,
You're like, oh,
it's hard.
what do we do now?
I know. I know.
But a lot of in all of that, a lot of fear of, are you making the right decisions?
I know.
And during that space too, we're both healing in our own ways of losing a husband and losing a father, and just a
You were still grieving, I'm sure.
absolutely
And for
still. I
many
mean, there's still
still, yeah.
layers of things that come so many years later,
Mhm,
but.
mhm.
Yeah, I don't know that it was one just specific thing, but I had just become really depleted, and
Mhm.
the Lord was just like, you're doing it the wrong way,
Mhm, mhm.
and instead of using the tools that the Lord provides through His Word, through Scripture. I mean, yes, of course I was praying. Yes, of course I was worshiping. Yes, of course, I was doing the things that I knew, but something kind of clicked with me, then, and I like that switch was I wasn't to fight her or her behavior. I was addressing kind of the wrong things when really the fight was a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
And that was the bigger thing at hand. And so, like I said, that part changed everything.
So the phrase "fight like a mom," where did that come from, and what does that really mean?
You know, that's a really great question. I was having a conversation with my mom the other day, and she was like, "Do you remember several years ago you had called me and you were having it was during this season? I'm convinced that it was during the season. I don't remember the exact conversation that she and I had had, but she said, you know, you were talking with me and we were having a conversation about a mom thing, and so she told me she was wearing some socks that said something about fight like something, and she's like, well, Amanda, you're just gonna have to fight like a mom. And that must have just pierced
Really?
in
So
my
it's something
spirit.
your mother said?
Yeah, but I just don't remember. I
Yeah.
don't remember that conversation. But I think maybe it had some significance, like I said, you know, in my heart and my spirit. But as I just started digging into the word after the Lord was like, you're fighting the wrong things. You know, fight like a mom is really taking the power and the authority that God gives us. Having a child is a calling, and that's our first, you know, space of ministry is our home.
Oh yeah.
And you know, when we truly understand the significance, not the pressure, not the weight of raising a child, but the blessing that it is that we get to build a legacy. That's kind of where my heart stemmed from. This is when we take that and we stand on the word of God and we operate in that power and authority, we're fighting like a mom. So just something kind of fun, but powerful.
What are some of the invisible battles that mothers are facing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All kinds, right? All kinds.
Yeah.
You know, comparison, I think, is one, and I touched on that in one of the weeks.
Oh yeah.
Comparison.
Well, right. And Facebook, and everybody's got their kids on there who are,
Yes.
valedictorian, and
Yes, that and even,
down the list.
whether it's high school kids or it's infants, you know, or even in an empty nest season, the enemy still wants to come in and bring comparison, right? But you know, this I wrote this out of a season of single motherhood, even though it's not addressed just to single moms, right? But we're talking about working moms who are battling work and work-life balance, and if that even exists, right? You know, and managing a career and managing a home, and you know, making sure that the laundry's kept and the lunch boxes and the field trip money got sent the right place, and you know, snacks on soccer day, you know, those types of things, right? Like there's those small tangible things, but that deeper space of I'm like, these are arrows, you know, in my quiver back here that I'm exactly what we just talked about, you know, that I'm raising up, that I'm getting prepared to launch. And am I doing it well? Right? I'm battling exhaustion from working all day, or maybe it's a stay-at-home mom, right? Or, you know, like there's all kinds of a homeschool mom. There's a lot of different factors that moms face that just seem so overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so having a kind of a how-to study is what kind of led you to do this format?
Oh, that's a great
Of a
question too.
book.
So let me take a step back just a tiny bit. During this season, I was writing devotionals. I was a part of a summer camp, but I still attend and I speak to single moms. And so I would write a devotional, whatever the Lord led for me, and moms would get that when they went to drop their children off. This particular camp week was for specifically children without, you know, from fatherless homes, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so very near and dear to my heart. And that's actually where the Lord called me to, you know, kind of focus on single motherhood in general and ministry in that space. And so the first year that I did this devotional and wrote and went and taught, it was the following, when we came back from camp that year, that life really got hard at home. And I know that that was a spiritual battle because I was stepping into a deeper space of what the Lord had called me to do. And he was like, no, we want to distract that. We want to, you know, tear that up. We want to destroy that. And so that is where, when the Lord spoke, you know, and I was like, oh, this is the launching pad for next year's devotional, right? But I knew as I was writing it, because these were just week-long kind of devotions, I knew when I was writing, this was 7 years ago, that it was more than just this week-long thing. And over the past 7 years, I picked it up and put it down, and the Lord would, you know, you need to continue writing in this. And I was still I'm like I said, she's 20 now, and we're still battling mom things, right? I just have different tools. So when I picked this up to start writing again, I just really felt that it wasn't just something to read through. Um, it's not intended to be where you have to sit for 2 hours at a time. Now, should you sit for 2 hours in your quiet time and read through it, then great, right? But it's a pick it up and go,
Mm-hmm.
designed to encourage moms to take that 10, 15, 20 minutes. If it's 5 minutes in the carpool line while you're waiting to pick up your
Yeah, leave
children,
it in the car.
But
Yeah.
something more than just reading through it. So there's scripture per day, there's a devotional piece, and then there's some reflection questions as well, because that's really where some of that, the inner work happens, right? When I have to get honest with myself about what am I really thinking? What are the lies that I'm truly listening to and
Mm-hmm.
believing about where I'm at in my, parenting? And then some tools, some practical tools to kind of reframe some of that mindset from a spiritual, stance. So it really was just, my heart is to go deep. And so, when I started to write this, I really just, the Lord was just like, just do it this way. So yeah, there's space to write. There's a declaration, on several days. There's even some applicable things where there's exercises for you to do with your children. It's kind of a big array of a lot of things.
Well, it's inspired. There's no question about that.
Right.
So much more I want to talk to you about,
Okay.
Amanda. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break, though, and we will be back right after these messages.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Providence. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Alan Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues and those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. And so I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
If I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Alan Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
From the motel in Del Rio, across the street down by the depot sits a bar. I was picking songs and singing. You were dancing with a dandy on your arm. Well, I caught you sitting sideways. With a smile you looked at me and my guitar. In the shadows of the valley, we found love and lost, and left me with this scar. Now I'm blissful in my misery. I'm pouring bourbon whiskey way too strong. Like the first shot when it hits me, took my breath from me and left me all alone. One night in Del Rio left me miserably blissful in the song. 30 years of rambling, the drinking, drugs, and gambling let me down. My soul's broke and bleeding as I made my way back to your border town. Inside that old cantina, Senorita knew where you'd be found. Your headstone said Maria. Time stood still as tears were falling down. Now I'm blissful in my misery. I'm pouring bourbon whiskey way too strong. Like the first shot when it hits me, took my breath from me and left me all alone. One night in Del Rio left me miserably blissful in the song. Yeah, I'm blissful in my misery. I'm pouring bourbon whiskey way too strong. Like the first shot when it hits me, took my breath from me and left me all alone. One night in Del Rio left me miserably blissful in the song. My last night in Del Rio left me miserably blissful in the song.
The Riesel Fair is back and bigger than ever. Bring the whole family for a day packed with fun, from thrilling rides, delicious food, local vendors, and live music Friday night. Saturday music begins at 2 p.m. Admission is $5 for adults, 2 to 12 years $3, 2 and under are free. Mark your calendar and join us for the Riesel Fair, May 7th through 9th. The Riesel Fair, where memories are waiting just for you.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Alan Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. And so I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
And we are back. Today's show is brought to you by Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple. It is your one-stop shop for custom window treatments, specializing in shades, blinds, shutters, and curtains. Bumblebee Blinds stands behind their service and products. Schedule your design consultation today, bumblebeeblinds.com. And I have with me Amanda Samaniego, who has written Flam, Fight Like a Mom, which is sort of a study book about parenting and motherhood. And there's something that you may not have addressed this at all, but it's something that I saw the other day, and it was an article about, when you pray for your children, because I'm sure you talk a lot about praying for your children, that as a parent, we pray for our children differently when they're grown than when you're their covering. You're their, they're under your protection and guidance. But when they grow up and leave the home, they're making their own decisions. So there's kind of a different way to pray for them. Have you been thinking anything about that?
I personally, just in my own space of motherhood, Addison, my daughter, is now 20. She's freshly moved to Austin, and so it does.
But she comes back a lot.
She absolutely comes back. We see her all the time.
Yeah.
But yes, I haven't done research into that, but it does look different. It feels different, and this season of motherhood is certainly different from where I was when I was experiencing the heart of this. Right. Yeah. These are just tools now that I use still, but it does look different. There's a different level of trust that you have to give the Lord, right? Because you've done your part. You still play a part, absolutely. Once a mom, always a mom, right? But it does look different. The influence, the control, the space that the world has, it looks different with an adult child, especially
when they maybe go off on their own way, away from the teachings you've brought them up under and those kind of things, which is truly a heartbreak.
It is
for parents.
It is.
But there's a way to pray for that.
And you're onto something, certainly. I don't address it so much in this book, but I do have other things in my heart to address some space like that. I mean, even just the story of the prodigal son, right?
Right.
And it is, there are different seasons of motherhood, and back to the comparison thing that we talked about earlier, it looks different. And then you begin to question, if you're not careful, to allow the enemy in those spaces to question what you did wrong, right? And then there's this space of shame and guilt, and that's not.
Oh yeah, and wanting to go back. If I could just go back, you cannot go back.
You can't.
No.
And
one of the key themes, and you're touching on this now, is breaking agreement with lies. So what does that look like in everyday life?
I think, first and foremost, you have to come to understand what lie you've come into agreement with, right? And sometimes it becomes such commonplace. Things like, I don't know, I'm not good at ABC, right? Or I'm always late, and it's just things that the negative space is what our mind hears, and it's the things we speak over ourselves. I'm not good at my house is always a wreck. It could be something simple like that, or it could be something that is even deeper. I've messed up, right? And I'll always be in this space. God can't repair this as a mom. I've messed my kid, whatever, right? Like the enemy's really
ruined
good.
their lives.
I've ruined their lives. If I would have only done, something different, right?
Yeah.
So first we have to recognize the lie that we have been believing. And then we can't just say, okay, well, that's not true, right? But we have to replace it with truth.
Right.
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 So that don't go into it in this book, but it is something that's near and dear to my heart that I've done just some fun study with from a psychological standpoint, like what happens to our brain when we believe lies, and then when we start to repair the neurological pathways where we've broken things with negative space and traumas and different things like that. So from a spiritual standpoint and the physical,
there's a physiological
science.
thing.
So the science part of what's happening in our
Interesting.
brain. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's where power is. That's where healing takes place, when we can recognize the lies and we can say, wait a second, that's not true. But what does God say about the situation? And when we begin to recite those things over ourselves, even if we don't believe it yet, right? But you speak it until you believe it, you know?
Right.
And that's a discipline in itself.
Yeah, I mean, the Bible refers to renewing our mind, and that's kind of what, so that can actually change the way we view ourselves and our situation, and that can then impact relationships.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything that we think impacts everything that we touch.
Yeah.
It's how we show up at work. It's how we, respond to our children. It's how we, a girlfriend, our husband, it's totally different. Yes. When you begin that healing process to take back just the truth, to take back the authority, and to walk in that, to walk in your identity of who God says you are, not the lies that you
you talk about stepping into our God given identity. Why is it so foundational then?
Well, I think that the root of everything stems from who we are. And when the enemy can get us to believe that we're something other than who God says we are, loved, chosen, forgiven, purposed, redeemed, called, right? All of those things that the Lord deems we are, then we lose that power and authority. And when we don't know who we are, then we don't know whose we are. And we kind of, flail in the wind, right? So knowing who God says we are really is the foundation to shake off all the other things that the world tries to tell us that we are or that we should be. The shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? That comparison piece. You should be further along in your career by now. Your children should look, did you see her at the grocery store? Her children, they had the bows on and their hair was clean, and they, and then you're pushing your cart and you've got screaming kids in your cart. And so that's very real. It's very real the way that works. But it goes back to knowing at your core who you are. And the only way that we can do that is by building that relationship with the Lord and being in the Word, right?
So important.
So important. So important. And some of that, and I touch on this a little bit too, is having a community around you. We're not meant to do life alone.
Yeah.
And part of that identity piece happens when we try to do things on our own, because that's when the enemy comes in to further, speak lies, and then there's shame, and it's almost as if
it's like a cycle.
It is a cycle.
Just builds on it. So what is the shift? There is a shift then that happens.
There has to be a shift. And my prayer is that for the mom that's looking for that, or maybe she doesn't even know she needs a shift, but that something would rock her world as she just encounters the Lord through this. But yeah, at some point you have to come to grips with, this is a lie. This isn't it. this isn't the way that this isn't the way that God called me to live, right? Or the life that he led me to he created me to build for my family. Not from a shame place or a condemning place, but from a life-giving, abundant, filled place.
How can moms then move from just sort of survival mode into a place of peace and authority?
It's a great question. I think part of that, number one, is taking care of yourself first. And I do mention this in the devotional too, but if you've ever been on an airplane and the stewardess comes on, or the flight attendant, and they do their spill about
that nobody pays any attention to.
No, that nobody pays any attention to, but the seat belt and where your inflatable device, all the things, right? And the mask. When the mask comes down, you're to put it on yourself first. And for a really long time, the first couple of times that I flew when Addison was an infant, I was like, are you out of your mind?
That seems,
No way. Like, I'm going to absolutely put this on her first, because if anybody lives, it's going to be her, But the further that I went in walking with the Lord, it came to my recollection that, if I don't put my mask on first, right, then I'm no good. I've lost my breath and I don't have anything to give. So I can't even help her make it to her mask, right? And so how does a mom move from survival and overwhelmed space? She's got to take care of herself first, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And, it seems maybe cliche, but like self-care, right? Self-care isn't just taking care and going and getting it, although pedicures are nice, but it's not just going and having this like relaxing spa day, right? Self-care is putting me first, because I know that I show up, you show up, we show up better when we're filled, and we can be the mom that God's created us to be when we have those things filled up first. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. I love that your book includes action steps. Kind of actions to take, as well as reading and, of course, internalizing scripture and thinking about things. Why was that important to you to have action steps?
Yeah, because you need something, you have to know how to implement it, right? So there's a couple of days when we're talking about prayer. Well, sometimes for a mom that prayer is new, or that's overwhelming, or you've never been taught, or you don't know, maybe this is the first time you've ever picked up anything that, or the first time you're stepping into a church,
Yeah, right.
How do I do that? Right. And it may seem super overwhelming. So some of those action steps, one of the things that I go through is, when we're talking about praying for your kids, making it a habit, like when you're folding socks, when you're buckling car seats in, and it doesn't have to be something that's drawn out and elaborate. It could be just a prayer of protection as you're putting that seatbelt on and buckling baby in, and so there's some tangible things like that. There's some different activities to do. But if you just read it and you don't know how to apply the things, then there's a disconnect there, right? So those action steps for me were super important to give moms something tangible to be able to take that principle or that space of healing or whatever they're reading through, on those days that those are there, so that they can make it real in their life to their family.
So who exactly is it for? Is it a certain age of mom, or any moms or grandmothers?
That's a great question.
I've got friends who, as grandmothers, are taking care of little ones.
I think it applies to any mom or caretaker, right? I had a friend of mine ask me the other day. She said, my story. She's got adult children. She said, do you think this would help me in this situation? I'm like, absolutely, I do. Because I believe that the Lord has a word specific for you, whether you're raising moms, you're a mom to be, you're a teenage, you've got a mom of teenagers, or one kid or 4 kids, right? I read through it and I'm like, man, that was really applicable to me. And I'm an empty nester,
Right.
And so I've got some grandmother friends, that purchased the book recently. And so they're giving me some feedback. And so that's really
because
exciting.
they may be then counseling their daughter.
Absolutely.
About
and while that's not my season
right.
of how I wrote this, but the Lord, that's just how good God works,
Yeah.
right? There's something tangible and specific, I believe, for every mama, grandmother, mother to be that picks this up. So single mom, 2-parent family, all of the above, homeschool mom, working mom. There's nothing that specific to, a working mom or to a single mom or a stay-at-home mom. But this principle of motherhood in general.
For those moms listening who are feeling overwhelmed, what's one small step they could take, like right now?
Right now, yeah, it's a great question too. Just one step. And taking a breath,
Yeah.
stopping for a moment when you feel overwhelmed, right? It's just sitting back just for a minute. Maybe it's feeling the feeling that you're trying to avoid, right? Breathing in the car, going and now I remember, it's not my season right now, but I remember those days when you escaped to go use the restroom, and then all the kids are at the door with you, right?
They were right.
So
even the cat.
the cat, yes. But
you cannot get away from them,
right? No, it doesn't matter. And you could not hear from them for minutes, and then the minute you go to the bathroom and close the door, everybody's right there, right? Do you remember those days?
Oh yes. That's so fun.
But I think it's important, a tangible step right now. Breathe and know that you were called to be a mom, right? Sometimes even now, after
you were given those children as gifts for a season.
I tell mamas that all the time. Like, God could have chosen any mom to give your children to. He could have chosen any children to give you, but he divinely purposed your children for you and you as their mom, because you're the only mom that can do the things for these babies that he's gifted you with. And so knowing that, breathing, taking a second, taking a step back, and just knowing that you are called for this.
Yeah.
This is divine.
That's such a good word. So suggestions on how a woman can make a space of time for her like that?
Not everybody's an early riser, but 10 minutes before everybody else gets up, it could be that simple. And there are seasons where 10 minutes is all you've got.
It can be an eternity.
Yes.
Before you first hear that, Mom, or whatever.
Yes. It could look like, 10 minutes on your lunch break, right? Or driving in the car, even if it's not, you don't have the ability to pick it up and read it, but 10 minutes after you drop the kids off, before you're headed to the next place, it might be a prayer. It might be a worship song. It might be that ability to breathe or cry or scream or whatever it is that you need, right? But, it could be 10 minutes after bed. And I know sometimes too, I remember during certain seasons where it was like after bed, I was done. You just sit down and you're just like, oh,
I can't even move. I'm so tired.
Yes. But again, different seasons look different, and 10 minutes can mean the world in resetting your perspective, taking that just opportunity. If you can get that minute in the bathroom, just again, taking that second to breathe and make yourself a priority.
So how can folks get a copy?
Yeah.
So it's Fight Like a Mom.
It's available on Amazon.
Okay.
And that's primarily where it is. Of course, I have been at some different conferences here lately, and so we've had books available there, but primarily on Amazon.
And you're certainly available to speak to groups.
Absolutely.
About this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's near and dear to my heart for sure.
I'm sure you're going to be very busy with that. Amanda, it's been a delight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Ann. It was a pleasure to speak with you today.
There's a lot of bad that comes along with these cell phones, these pocket computers we have. But when I found out you'd written a devotional, I said, "Oh gosh, yeah."
But you know what? Going back to what you just asked about how do we build in time, put down your phone.
That would be always a good suggestion.
Yes. And sometimes we feel like at night, when we have that minute, it's to watch TV. And
that's when you're scrolling.
Right? But 10 minutes, take 10 minutes out of that scroll time and sit down with the Lord. Sit down and breathe. Sit down and journal. Something that is enlightening to you. Make it while you're doing the dishes. Have some me time while you're folding laundry. And I speak to some of that in the devotional too.
Yeah.
But
be intentional about
be intentional.
thinking about that.
Absolutely.
Great advice. Thank you, July.
Thank you.
Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Provident. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Alan Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. And so I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
Downtown Marble Falls in a neighborhood, there's a shop that smells like sandalwood. She had a floor rug rolled in her arms and a look burned by the sun. Her auburn hair tied up in braids, eyes like fire you can't explain. She smiled like she knew my name and everything I'd done. She poured me rye in a copper cup, said most folks can't see clear enough. She ran her fingers down the weave, said this one's pretty rough. I asked her why she up and ran from all the gold and the promised land. She said, honey, I sell more than rugs, I deal in contraband. She's got a past dyed deep in red, hand knotted in every thread. She's not lost, she's just unseen, like a distant memory. Many men who've come before stumbled through that same oak door, wondering where they were before. They met their Persian queen. She's a hill country rug dealer with a past no man can heal. Wears her beauty like a scar and cuts a better deal. In every thread a story hides. Lord knows she's seen both sides. If you ask her why she stayed last night, she'll just smile and walk away. She's a hill country rug dealer selling stories wrapped in wool. No one knows what really lies behind her eyes so bright and full. They say she once had a lover die, but truth gets tangled in every lie. So if you see her on the road tonight, just let her pass you by. She's a hill country rug dealer with a past no man can heal. Wears her beauty like a scar and cuts a better deal. In every thread a story hides. Lord knows she's seen both sides. If you ask her why she stayed last night, she'll just smile and walk away. She's a hill country rug dealer selling stories wrapped in wool. No one knows what really lies behind her eyes so bright and full. They say she once had a lover die, but truth gets tangled in every lie. So if you see her on the road tonight, just let her pass you by.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
If I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Alan Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
This is a Rogue Media Network production.